Bernie Sanders just humiliated himself after being confronted multiple times regarding the government shutdown. So Bernie's been making his rounds, promoting his new book, one I'm sure you all can't wait to rush out and go buy. And as he and the Democrats continue to try and blame Republicans for a government shutdown they keep voting against reopening, Bernie's now testing out a new round of fear-mongering talking points. As always, if you enjoy the content, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more breakdowns, just like this. But first, let's start with Bernie Sanders, the man who apparently has kept us safe from the oligarchy.
This great country of ours is moving very rapidly in the direction of oligarchy. The United States of America today is increasingly becoming an oligarchy. More and more moving toward an oligarchy. We are moving in the direction of oligarchy. We will move even more rapidly in the direction of an oligarchy. This great country is evolving into an oligarchic society. It is called oligarchy, and that is the system we are rapidly moving toward. This is a budget that moves our country rapidly into the direction of oligarchy. A handful of billionaires are moving this entire planet toward an oligarchic society.
We start off with the bad news, which is pretty bad, and that is that under Donald Trump, this country is hurtling rapidly toward oligarchy.
Bernie Sanders loves to play political Batman, always showing up with his cape on, pretending as if he's ready to fight for the people. He paints himself as the noble defender of justice, but he's not. He's a chameleon, and this week the mask slipped badly. While doing interviews, Bernie humiliated himself when the topic of the government shutdown came up, because he said the quiet part out loud and exposed the hypocrisy that's been hiding in plain sight.
It's easier for the politicians in D.C. to go away from each other and say, we will win this way, while people are losing their paychecks. If Congress just said, we're not going to take our paychecks till we figure this out, that would be a noble step in the right direction, I would say.
That's not everybody can afford to do. You got some young people there with kids there.
Either can the people that aren't getting paid, though.
I think
and
that's a fair
holdout.
point. I think that's a fair point.
So let's break this down. Bernie doesn't think that his Democrat buddies in Congress, the same people who created this mess, should have to miss a paycheck because, according to him, they can't afford it. Give me a break. This is exactly why Bernie is no political Batman. He's two-faced, talking about compassion for the working class on one hand, while being the reason those same workers can't feed their families. You can't claim to stand for the people while standing in the way of their paychecks, Bernie. That's not compassion. That's hypocrisy dressed up as activism. He says something that sounds completely ridiculous, then goes ahead and do what Democrats do when they get caught. He pivots straight into fear-mongering. It's the same tired playbook. Change the subject and try to scare people into forgetting about what you just said. Because when you don't have logic on your side, fear is the only thing left to sell. And so now here he goes, attempting to clean up everything he just said right there. Take a listen.
I want to see this shutdown ended tomorrow. Got a lot of good, decent, hardworking federal employees not getting their paychecks. That is not right. But I want to explain to everybody really what's at stake, because I don't know that people are clear about it. As a result of Trump's big, beautiful bill, which to my mind was one of the worst pieces of legislation passed in modern history, this is what is going to happen. 15 million low-income and working-class Americans are going to lose their health insurance. Studies indicate that when you take away health insurance for so many people, you know what happens? 50,000 people will die unnecessarily every single year.
Have you ever had a moment that changed your life? One accident, one employer who doesn't care, one hospital bill you couldn't pay. That's how quick life can change. And when it does, you realize something fast. The big companies, the insurance giants, they don't care about you. They've got teams of lawyers whose only job is to protect their bottom line. But who's protecting you? There's a reason why it feels like traffic always jams when you're running late. Just like there's a reason Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, Morgan & Morgan has fought for the people, not the powerful. With 1,000 plus attorneys and more than 100 offices nationwide, they've recovered over $25 billion for more than 500,000 clients just like you. Whether you're a 41-year-old family man in Florida, struck by a driver who ran a red light, Morgan & Morgan secured a $9.3 million verdict, or a father and Little League coach who suffered lasting injuries in a car crash, Morgan & Morgan secured a $6.1 million verdict. When you hire them, it's like hiring a legal army that has your back. Starting a claim is simple. You can get started right now from your phone. No hassle. You can click the link in the description or scan the QR code on the screen to see if you have a claim. Their fee is free unless they win. Because when life changes in an instant, you deserve a law firm that's ready to fight for you. Boom, there it is. Easy way to make people forget you just said your buddies in Congress can't miss a paycheck because they can't afford it is to talk about how many people will potentially die according to some study if they don't have health insurance. And he doesn't forget to attach Trump's name to the reason why this would happen. And he knows that 99.9% of people won't look into the study that he's talking about. They'll just take whatever he's saying at face value. But here's the thing. The study that Bernie was actually referring to, I looked into it. It's a 2025 Yale UPenn study that was done this past June, commissioned by Democrat members of Congress themselves. The research was designed to project the so-called mortality impact of a federal budget reconciliation bill passed by the House of Representatives, a bill that most Republicans supported and most Democrats did not. Now here's where it all falls apart. The study's been criticized for some major red flags, one being correlation versus causation, and the other one being contradictory trends. For example, during the rollout of Obamacare, the number of insured Americans increased. Yet, national life expectancy dropped for the first time in decades. And so this completely undermines Bernie's study that health insurance is the primary driver of life expectancy. But Bernie knows that he can go on shows like The View and throw out dramatic lines without being challenged. The host won't push back, they'll just nod, smile, and move on. And viewers are left believing every word. Here's another clip of him on CBS. Take a listen.
But first, on the shutdown, Senator Thune has said, Leader Thune over in the Senate has said the health care issues will come to a vote if Democrats reopen the government first. He can't guarantee the outcome, but you'll get the vote. Why isn't that no good?
Well, I'll tell you why it's no good. Right now, as I think everybody knows, our current healthcare system is broken, it's dysfunctional. We spend twice as much per person as the people of any other country, 85 million uninsured. We don't have enough doctors, nurses, dentists, et cetera. It's a broken system. What Trump did in his big, beautiful bill is to throw 15 million low-income and working-class people off the health care they currently have by massive cuts in Medicaid and the Affordable Care Act. You know what studies show, guys? Let's talk about this. Studies show that when you throw 15 million low-income and working-class people off health care, 50,000 people a year will die unnecessarily. They don't have the money to go to a doctor. They have a chronic illness. They will die.
Right on cue. There goes the fear-mongering. And in my opinion, health insurance isn't a basic human right in a capitalistic system. And if people like Bernie Sanders were truly serious about healthcare, they would be talking about one of the main things that are making people sick, such as the ingredients and chemicals in our food, the processed junk filling our shelves, but that's hardly ever brought up.
And then on top of that, all over the country, in my state of Vermont, all over the country, people right now are receiving notices from their insurance companies. Their premiums are going to go up by 20%, by double.
So open the government and vote on it. Make the case.
Really? No. And let 50,000 people die if Trump vetoes the legislation, if the House doesn't deal with the legislation. You know what's going on right now in the House? The Speaker of the House, Mr. Johnson, has given his people a 5-week vacation. They're not even in Washington, D.C. Before I vote on a bill that will right now allow 50,000 people to die unnecessarily, I want it absolutely clear that that will not happen, period.
It's pretty clear what Bernie's goal is here. Just listen to how many times he kept throwing that stat out without a single challenge or pushback, as to be expected. All Bernie's trying to do right now is shape public perception, paint himself as the noble moral voice, the compassionate one, in doing so, attempting to pressure Republicans into caving to the Democrats' latest round of reckless demands. And he's just using hyperbole in order to do it.
But meantime, you could have the president is saying that the shutdown's a chance for Republicans to cut programs left and right that they don't like, that you like. So how long are you willing to let this ride for losses?
Look, I cannot allow, in good conscience, 50,000 people a year to die unnecessarily, and in my state and all over this country. Healthcare premiums. You think you're paying enough out there right now? Look at doubling premiums for 20 million people, sometimes tripling, quadrupling.
So you don't think you can win a vote?
How do we get out of this with both sides blaming the other? Still, nobody's talking.
Yeah, they're just pointing the finger.
I think that's what's so frustrating to the people, because everybody who's making the decisions, they're still getting paid, while the employees, the workers, are going without. Somebody has got to say, get together and...
Well, it might help, Gail, if the House of Representatives brought their people back. They're on vacation right now. Pretty hard to negotiate with people who are on vacation. And I think, just to talk a little bit about the Senate process. Now, in the House, majority rules. In the Senate, you need 60 votes.
Right.
Republicans have 53. They need to negotiate. You know how much negotiations they've done? Zero. Our way or the highway. Unprecedented.
There's no reason to believe anything that Bernie says at this point. When he says that Republicans refusing to negotiate is unprecedented, it's a lie, because this has happened before, and it happened under Obama during that shutdown. Democrats flat out refused to negotiate, and Obama made it crystal clear. If there's any language in a spending bill that touched Obamacare, he wouldn't sign it. So when Bernie gets on TV acting like this is some new level of dysfunction, he's lying. It's just easy to rewrite history when no one in the room will push back.
On it, right? 2 out of 3 Americans have an unfavorable view of the party that you caucus with.
Yes.
How did that happen?
Okay, I'll tell you.
Why do they not like you and trust you right now?
Well, I think independents are a different story than Democrats. But right now, I think the answer is people looking around them. Can they afford health care? No. What have the Democrats thought about that? Not a whole lot. Can their kids afford to go to child care? Well, no, child care is outrageously expensive. What about housing? How are we doing on housing? Nobody in America can afford housing right now. Housing costs are astronomical. You want to get your kids to eat decent food and not junk food so they don't become obese? Go to the grocery store. Find out how much it costs for decent quality food. What about rural America? Our hospitals are shutting down. So this country faces many crises. And I think a lot of working class people said, look, Trump is crazy. He lies all the time, but at least he's going to do something. Where are the Democrats? And the Democrats have got to make a very fundamental decision. Do you stand with the struggling working class, 60% of whom are living paycheck to paycheck, trying to survive? Are you prepared to take on the oligarchy, the Musks and the Bezos who have never had it so good? Live in a society where the top 1% owns more wealth than the bottom 93%. Those are the issues we've got to put on the table.
Senator, you always bring in a...
Bernie Sanders claims that he's an independent, but let's be honest, he's just another far-left radical the Democrats can depend on to push their talking points and carry their agenda whenever they want him to. That's why he can't bring himself to give the president credit for anything. That's why every time the facts don't fit the narrative, he twists them, because his loyalty isn't to truth. It's to the movement that the Democrats are trying to push. But let me know your thoughts. Drop your comments down below. As always, if you enjoy the content, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more breakdowns just like this. And don't forget, stick around for the next video. Immigration raids in New York City send liberals into a meltdown just days before the mayoral election. Stick around for that, and I'll see you next time.